Today we're going to continue with solving equations and look at 1.2, which is solving two-step equations, and that does match up still with book topic 1-2 if you are using our online book. And just to review from yesterday or the last lesson, inverse operations are operations that undo each other, so addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. Let's go ahead and look at some equations. The first is x divided by 8 minus 10 equals -9. And we're going to describe the operations in this equation before we do anything else. And when we're doing this, I always tell students to start with the one that's closest to the variable. So that x and 8 are the closest. So we are going to say divide by 8 for our first. For our second step, we need to look at the next number that's kind of working our way out. So the next step would be subtract 10. And then we should get our answer of -9. Now, when we are going to use inverse operations to solve this, we need to start at the end of our first list and work our way backwards. So we need to undo subtracting 10 first by adding 10. And then we need to undo the dividing by 8 by multiplying by 8. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that. We are going to draw a little line through the equal sign, and we are going to follow those steps that we just typed up. Okay, so starting with the 10, we're going to add 10 to both sides since it was a -10. We have to do the opposite. And the left side will cancel to leave us with x divided by 8. And on the right side, we'll get -9 plus 10, which is 1. Okay, add 10. Good, we're done with that one. Second step, multiply by 8. Multiply by 8 on both sides to keep that scale balanced. The left side cancels out to leave us with x, and 1 times 8 is 8. Our final answer is 8. If you wanted to check this, you could plug this in and do 8 divided by 8 and then minus 10, and you should get -9 for an answer. The next one has a similar numbers, different setup on the left side, and then a different answer. So I'm going to start by highlighting the part that's closest to the x, and technically because it's in a fraction, that -10 is closest to the x, so that's where we're going to start. So we are going to start by subtracting 10 in the original problem, and then divide by 8. So to work our way backwards, we're going to get rid of the 8 first this time by multiplying, and then get rid of the 10 by adding. So let's go ahead and solve this. We are going to draw our line through the equal sign, and then we're going to show our work. So we are going to multiply by 8 on both sides, like we said in the first step. Okay, so that one's done. So we get x minus 10 equals 8. And then our second step is to add 10 to both sides. And 8 plus 10 gives us 18 on the right side, and it cancels on the left side. Okay, so we're done with this one. I didn't really mean to cross those off. I used check marks in the first one. Okay, so we followed our steps to solve on the right side. If we want to plug it back in to check it, we should get 18 minus 10, which is 8, divided by 8, which should give us 1. Okay, 2 more. We are going to start by highlighting our variable and the number closest to it. So you can see the first step here that we're going to type in our equation is multiply by 8. The second step is to subtract. So when undoing that, we're going to work our way backwards. We are going to add the 2 and divide by 8. Okay, so we switch the order and do the opposite operations to solve. Let's go ahead and draw our line through the equal sign. Sorry, I just had an extra line there. So first step is add 2 to both sides. So we get 8x equals, be careful with your signs here, so -24 plus 2 is -22. And then if I divide by 8, I actually get a decimal. I'll tell you what that decimal is here. -22 divided by 8 is -2.75. I actually prefer fractions here. So what I would do is reduce those both by 2. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. I honestly, unless I tell you it needs to be a fraction, would take either one of those. Okay, last one. Highlight the number and the variable, sorry, the number closest to the variable, and I'm actually going to include that sign there because I'm going to describe this a little differently. So we're starting there. We're going to multiply by -6. And then after that, we're technically adding 3 because that minus sign goes with the 6 and not with the 3. The 3 is actually positive. A little tricky on that one, so be careful. So undo that, we're going to subtract 3. And we are going to divide by -6. So we're going to draw a line and start our process. So subtract 3 from both sides to get -84 on the left. Okay, again, be really careful with your calculators. Pretend you owe me $81 and you have to borrow 3 more. You owe me 84 now. And then our second step was to divide by -6. And -84 divided by -6 gives us a positive 14. Definitely use your calculator. I don't expect you to do all this in your head. I just want you to understand the process. Okay, so that's it for this first part. We'll do the word problems in the next video. Have a great day.